What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking out a title called Capital Command. They just put out a demo, and actually I've had this on my wish list for a long time, and I've wanted to play it for a long time, because there are very few space games out there that allow you to fly the big boy ships. I'm talking about the big guns, corvettes and larger. Like, a lot of space games are like, okay, you're a fighter pilot for hire, fly around, take some jobs, fight ships that are bigger than you, but you will never get to be in the bigger ship. This is not that game. This is a game about having a ship with 500 crew on it and firing the broadsides and managing point defense as missiles fly through the air and explosions are going off everywhere. It's a game about damage control and having crews that are working on fire that's inside the engine compartment. And so that sounds like it's going to be a good bit of fun. Spoiler alert, I already played and beat the demo so that I could collect my thoughts about this demo and things that I think will probably make the game a little bit more accessible. This is a very crunchy game when it comes to the way that your Battlecruiser controls. And I do think there are ways that that could be streamlined so that all players, like the ones that want full 6 degree of freedom flight control, the ones that want to manage their Delta V and all that kind of stuff, and the ones that just want to get into combat and punch it up at a minimal level of micromanagement can all be happy. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. For right now, we're going to spend about 25-30 minutes with the game. There's going to be a lot of editing in this video, and I'm sorry about that. I usually don't like to do more than like 10-15 edits per video, because one of the reasons I started a YouTube channel is because I thought that there were too many previews out there that were too edited and you couldn't get an idea of the gameplay. But in the case of this game, there are like 5-10 minute flight times and things like that in between points. And so there's going to be edits as we like close the gap and we like scramble to fight with enemies and things of that nature. But anyways, Capital Command, the demo is available right now. You can go check it out on Steam. The link is down in the description along with my Discord and my Twitch stream. Let's play the game, shall we? Name your ship. Oof, we're going to name this thing, I don't know, we're going to name this thing the Crevice Wrecker. There we go. That's a good name right there for a ship. I think that really... Scout Corvette Crevice Wrecker returning to the Fleet Central from extended deployment. Assigned as light escort for Battlecruiser BC-42. Arrival station coordinates locked, initiating jump. Welcome to Farpoint. Okay, so here we are, and here is our little Corvette. Capital Command uses a what you see is what you get interface. Everything you can do in the game has a button that is on the screen. We can right-click, that will unlock our mouse so that we can click on things from the HUD right now, should we desire to do so. And in fact, I do desire to do so. Confirmed Crevice Wrecker. Checklist green, verification signed and logged. Sit rep follows. Recent collision in ingress zone. Produced wreckage which constitutes a collision hazard. Select that wreckage now for a vector check. Okay, so we're going to click on that right there. And then what you will see is that it has locked that wreckage that is in front of our craft right there. And then from this bottom left button, we can give kind of vague general commands about what we want to do with that individual point that we're locked onto. So if we fly a rendezvous, it doesn't actually tell you what this means. And so basically, I would like to see this menu extended out a lot more. But effectively, what set rendezvous does is it gives you a forward vector towards that point. And then what the ship is going to do is it's going to flip around, and it's basically going to back up into the object as though you're going to dock with it and then stop right when it's up super close. And it's important to know that, because if you set a rendezvous in combat to close a gap or whatever, it is very possible that you will turn yourself into a butt-cheek space projectile that is moving at like 11 kilometers per second that will just smash through, obliterating. Basically, you're turning yourself into a relativistic projectile. Okay, if your opponent decides to close the gap with you and doesn't realize that you set a rendezvous, you're just gonna smash into each other and obliterate each other. Ask me how I know. So anyways, let's go ahead and set a rendezvous right here. There's a number of information that's gonna be given to you down below here. And basically, we've got what looks like basically the numbers you need to know are the range. That's basically how close you are to the object, and then when it says closest down there, that T-minus 52 seconds or whatever, that's how long we have before we make landfall with that object, basically. That's before we are in base-to-base contact, practically crashing on into one another. And so those are really the two numbers that you need to know. That's going to tell you how fast the object is flying. As you can see, our ship is flipping around now so that we can back on in, as you can see. There we go. And as we back on in, I do wish that this text right here went away on the screen, the big green text. I wish that it went away, like, once you actually clicked on the prompt right there. But there you go. He's backing it on in. He's firing the thrusters. Just to make sure we don't smash into it, we're basically matching their speed relatively to ours now. And there it is. We have now salvaged it. You may not have caught it, but in the top right corner under wreckage, there was a progress meter that was filling up. Now we just need to demolish the wreck. This is basically going to tell our crew to set charges, and that thing's going to blow up right there. So there it is. It is now gone. We have eliminated that wreckage from the sector, and you can do that with any wreckage that you find. Over here, they've given us the all clear to go weapons free. There's a bunch of wreckage over on this side. What we can do now is we can take over manual control of the ship. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. In taking manual control of the ship, I am turning the ship right now with WASD. There are going to be a number of button presses you probably want to figure out for the navigation of your ship. They come together. Basically, this game uses Q, W, E, A, S, D, Z, and X. Basically, it uses a big block of buttons to handle all of your pitch, your yaw, your roll, all that kind of stuff. I find it to be a little bit nitty-gritty for manual flying. What I would really like for them to add to the game is effectively an assist mode. What I mean by an assist mode is effectively your ship will turn to face your cursor at all times. So were I to move my cursor over that way, it would basically just automatically fire all the thrusters and even itself out with inertial dampeners in order to face my cursor. And then you just use W and S like Mech Warrior to set a forwards and like a backwards velocity effectively. I think something like that would be really, really, really nice. And it would give people, you could basically make it disableable in the options or whatever. And so people that want to play with the nitty-gritty kind of dual stick controls can do that. People that only want to use the automatic controls down here can do that. And then people that want to kind of pilot their ship in the same way that you would in a game like Rebel Galaxy or whatever would also be able to do that too. It basically just makes the game more accessible to more potential audiences. That was my initial thought anyways, is man, I wish there was a control scheme where I could just set a velocity and then have the ship automatically fire thrusters in order to match whatever direction my cursor is facing in. That would make me so happy. All right, so we've got wreckages over here. Which one is the closest? We've got a wreckage right there. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to turn on our targeting computer. And we are going to go ahead and target that guy right there. And as you can see, we're firing our guns. That wreckage is going to get annihilated. Now, the downside is our batteries, they have about the same amount of bullets as like a 6-shooter from the 1800s. So you're going to be spending a lot of time in this game reloading. You can manually reload from right here, or you can hit F3. As you can see right there, I just told it to reload. It's going to be about 30 seconds until we're fully reloaded. We do have another battery right there, though, that we can hit from here. I think the range on our guns is about 10 kilometers, and so we're going to go ahead and line the next one up for fire the moment that our batteries come back up and are ready for the firing. So there we go. Well, 3 seconds, and there we go. But this is a very, very slow-paced game. This is one of those games where a gunfight in between you and your fleet, like a sortie, can actually take a decent amount of time. Like a fight between a battlecruiser and 3 escorts and a matching opposition on the other side can easily take upwards of like 45 minutes as you guys try to outmaneuver each other and kind of like read the angles on each other's point defense, which does make the game kind of interesting. There's another game that's playing around with those ideas too called Nebulous, but Nebulous has a little bit more of an RTS thing going on. And also, I played with Nebulous for like, they sent me Nebulous like a year ago, and I messed with Nebulous probably for about 3 hours, and I still wasn't like through the tutorial. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I played it for about an hour and a half, and I'm pretty sure I was still in the tutorial, and I was like, man, I am vexed right now. This game has a lot of stuff going on, but if you are into this kind of stuff and you like the nitty-gritty, Nebulous might be another game to keep your eye on. As soon as we get inside of 10 kilometers right here, we're going to go ahead and light this guy up. Attack course has been set. And actually, we can fire at 11, I guess 11 kilometers. I thought my range was 10. All right, well, that's another wreckage obliterated right there. We'll go ahead and we will wait for the reload, and we will try. We've got that wreckage targeted right there. We'll go ahead and set an attack order. That way we start closing the gap and getting closer to it, and we'll come in with our guns already pre-aligned. Although it does look like maybe it has like a pre-existing trajectory. Yeah, I think it's actually moving in space right now. It's kind of hard to tell because we don't have a whole lot of things that are... So there's not a lot of like gas clouds or debris flying past the ship for you to really pick up visually what kind of vector you're flying on. And so I don't know if that thing's actively moving relative to us and the way that we're moving, but it seems possible. This seems like the kind of game where that might happen. We're going to go ahead and do an attack against the last wreckage. Get ourselves all lined up. There we go. All good to go. And autopilot should take care of the rest, allowing us to get to the next part of the little tutorial. Attack vector set. That last wreckage is being fired upon. There's the money shot right there, the action shot. And bye-bye, wreckage. You are wonderful space trash, but we need you no longer. We're going to go ahead and fold up the targeting menu real fast so that we don't accidentally target something we don't want to. Farport Station to all ships. Priority message follows. Secret data package has arrived from Fleet Corps for the non-AI ships at Central. Crevice Wrecker. Approach the station within 10 kilometers and secure the package. Okay, well, we're going to do exactly that. So Farpoint Station is over there. It looks like we are actually moving towards it, which is good. That means I don't have to spend a whole bunch of fuel. The game doesn't have fuel, but I don't have to use a whole bunch of, like, rechargeable rocket fuel in order to get myself on a nice trajectory. It looks like we're already kind of headed that way. I will go ahead and set rendezvous real fast with Farpoint Station. That way... It does look like Farpoint Station also has a vector. I think that's what that red line is right there. I think it's on an orbit or something like that, so I think we've got to intercept it. Yeah, back it up like a dump truck. Boop! Back it up like a dump truck. This is why they would never let me handle the big ordnance, man. I'd embarrass myself. I do very much like the sound design of the game, in fact. I think the game has a wonderful kind of analog sound to it as the batteries are being loaded. You get the feeling that you're actually viewing the ship through some kind of drone, maybe, that's being controlled by a navigation or like a helmsman or something like that, because you get these periodic clicks, and like everything in the UI is kind of like tick, 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 while meters are filling up. I've told you guys that before, that one of my favorite sound design philosophies is games that really shoot for that Giger-esque, or I guess that Ridley Scott sound that he had in like Alien, basically, when you're interacting with Mother, where like they've got this futuristic technology that's capable of like warp travel and cryo sleep and all that kind of stuff, but weirdly enough, everything still runs on like tubes and like light bulbs, and everything is still like really manual and sort of clunky and has like levers and everything else. I get the feeling that that's kind of how these ships are from the sound design and whatnot. We are headed towards Farpoint Station. And it looks like we've got about, well, 2 minutes until we're close enough to, well, it'll be less than 2 minutes. It's going to take us a minute and a half to get to 5 kilometers, and so it'll be a little bit less than that. But once we get underneath 10 kilometers, we should start downloading the package. There it is. We've got the package incoming. We're going to go ahead and wait for that to download. You can check the progress up in the top right-hand corner of the screen, in case you are wondering where that's being displayed. And so we're actually going to bring the ship to a full stop. Just to make sure that accidents don't happen. And there it is. BC-42 actual to Crevice Wrecker. Come alongside and relay the damn package. 10 kilometers should do. Let's see what the fuss is all about. On my authority, you're cleared for tactical warp jump to our position. Haul it on over here pronto. Okay, so they are sitting currently at 68.3 kilometers. I need to figure out how I set the minimum range, and we can warp from here. However, what I wish happened is when you moused over this, you would have a few more boxes, and it would be like warp to within, you know, 1 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer, 25 kilometer. Because I've played the demo now quite a bit, and one thing that tends to happen is when I warp jump to my friends or to my enemies in order to lightning strike or reinforce, we tend to crash into one another. I heard somebody on the Steam forums talking about how they had found a way to set a minimum distance or whatever for a warp jump or like an arrival point, but I don't know if I've done that yet. There we go. We are now in range. BC-42 here, showing stable data link. Transfer in progress. Keep closer than 10 kilometers, so it's all nice and secure, okay? Spoiler alert. That's the ship right there that we get in the main game. For the purposes of the demo, you only get to fly this little ship right here. But, like, when you're actually in, like, the real game, it says at the end of the demo that you inherit that ship from the naval military. And so now you are the captain. BC-42, something in the data package just overloaded all our weapons. It looks like you're no better off yourself. Get your repair parties busy. I've got a bad feeling about this kid. So this is where the game is introducing you to kind of like damage control. If you take a look in the top left-hand corner of the screen, we've got our overall hull integrity right there. When that goes down to 0, we die. However, along the way, when you take certain forms of damage to certain compartments of the ship, you're going to get debuffs. So, for example, right now, our forward battery is completely and totally out of action. That's the guns that we were firing at the wreckage. And so we have damage control parties that are based on the size of our ship that we can deploy to various areas, kind of like Star Trek style, in order to get in there and start welding things and fixing them and take time off that counter. As you'll see right here, by assigning a DCP team, it should go down, yeah, almost by half. And you can assign one DCP team to, I don't know if I can deploy the second one. Yeah, I was going to say, you can put one DCP team on any pressing kind of issue, like a hull breach or whatever else, and they will cut the time effectively in half. And then once they get done working on it, it puts them on a long, long cooldown of like 2 to 3 minutes. And then you can redeploy them to another spot, or the same spot if they didn't completely repair it, because when I was busy crashing my ship into other ships, let's see here. Farpoint station to all friendly ships. Be advised, unscheduled incoming jump signatures detected. Frankly, we don't know what this means, but BC-42, unidentified ships. State your identity and purpose immediately. They are AI-driven friendlies from the home fleet. They aren't responding to our hails. That's odd. Oh boy, yeah, they're like in here, aren't they? Yeah, okay. Open up targeting protocols. We're going to go ahead and set up a targeting pass on, who are you? 179. All right, let's go ahead and set an attack course. BC-42, we are under attack. Repeat, under attack. Engage unknown ships. Keep them off our back until the weapon systems come back online. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and do it. How are we coming about right here? I would also really, really love it if I could avoid crashing into BC-42. The autopilot can sometimes be a little bit dubious. Yeah, I'm just going to take over manual. Hold on. We'll take over manual just to avoid that situation. All right. There we go. Manual piloting. Manual piloting. We'll hit some thrust to get us a little bit of forward movement. There we go. Okay, I just wanted to be a little bit clear. Oh, no, 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 no. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. Why am I'm not locked onto the right person right now. There we go. Give me another target lock, and then we'll set an attack course on them. Now, as you can see, our battery that just fired at them, coincidentally, while I was kind of slow boating my ship around like a moron, it lit a fire in their central section. What that means is that their HP is going to constantly go down so long as that fire continues to burn. We have 2 seconds till next battery. Let them have it. Okay, no considerable damage has been caused to the enemy, only light impacts. It's a little bit of a bummer. We're going to set up, you're going to have to retarget the ship with your guns every single time you want to fire in between reloads. The reason being is the game wants you to be micromanaging and using several different batteries to fire at like missiles that are in the air, or to fire at, you know, this, that, or the other. Like, you might want to fire one battery at like an enemy escort corvette, but you might want to fire a heavier missile battery at a battlecruiser. We've got more fire going on out. Their artillery magazine has been disabled. Very, very nice. Light damage, or maybe not. I don't know. Let's go ahead. We're going to set that up right there. We're going to go ahead and try to stay with them a little bit. They're trying to put a gap in between us and them, and frankly, I don't find that to be acceptable. There you go. Perfect. Got the afterburners. We're manual flying right now. Everything is okay. Nothing bad is going to happen. Looks like we have their bow thrusters were knocked out, and there is now a fire in the bow. Bow, 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 bow. Splat be busting at them. All right. Set attack course now that we're closer. Sometimes set attack course does weird stuff. Like, I've noticed that sometimes the set attack course does not try to, like, run them down. So, like, it'll run them down, but, like, it doesn't adjust the forward thrust to where I want it to be to, like, overtake. So what you'll notice here is he's going to start gaining distance on us, and I think it's because the attack run doesn't take their vector into account while it's setting it up. So instead of trying to intercept, it goes straight to the point that they're at, and since things in this game move so quickly, that throws the game off and makes it, like, confused or something. I don't know. I've had a problem with it. We got a couple seconds till our next battery. I'm going to orient, and there's our shot. Very, very nice. Oh, cool. BC-42's in the fight. I just saw him take a missile shot. BC-42 is a missile barge. He is destroyed. BC-42 actual. Well done, kid. I guess all the time in the sim paid off. No idea what Central AI is up to, but it's gone rogue. Anyways, looks like the Corvettes have called in their buddies. Get ready for more trouble. Okay, close down targeting menu. Oh, I only got one bullet left. I should probably do something about that. Set manual reload real fast. We'll close that while we wait. Bring the ship to full stop as well. Go ahead and kill whatever our vector is right now. I'd like to be neutral. Okay, we have 3 hostiles on grid. We have BC-11. That's going to be a Battlecruiser. We have KS-443 and KS-444. Those are going to be Corvette escorts. So we're going to have to do something about that. He's about 20 out. I believe that if we hang tight, he's going to come to us in about 2 minutes. Our craft that we're supposed to be protecting is under serious missile fire and more than likely wants us to help out with point defense. We're going to go ahead and take a look and see if we can set up our guns crossways to his missile vector. Like so. There we go. And that should allow us to try to shoot down some of those missiles and protect BC-42. Unfortunately, we had no hits right there, which is a little bit of a bummer. But these guys are going to close the gap for us, so I'm not too concerned about setting up my position right now. He's shooting down BC-42's missiles that are on their way out right there. I very much like the kind of Expanse vibe that this game has, like how the combat is slow and lumbering and, like, powerful, you know? Like, these ships, they do not move quickly, and, like, a tactical maneuver takes a while. We've almost got targeting range on 443, so let's go ahead and take that targeting range. We're going to go ahead and rotate ship in his direction. Maybe we can get a shot or two off. Forward battery is almost reloaded. I need targeting control, please. Open fire when ready. You should be able to get a couple pretty good shots off on this guy. And batteries away. Okay, set us up for another shot. He is going to do a flyby right here, so we're going to have to prepare for that. For whatever reason on our Corvette, all the guns are front-mounted instead of being broadsides, which I feel like would be better for an escort craft. I don't know, I just feel like for an escort craft, you're probably trying to protect the bridge at, like, all costs. He's got a fire in the central section, but he's going to put his DCP on that. Nobody's just going to let a fire burn. Of all the things that can go wrong on your ship, having a fire is the one that's, like, a big problem. We do have fire going out right now. It looks like BC-42 took a little bit of a scuffing right there. That's okay, BC-42. You hang in there, Big Bubba. I got your back. Another volley is out. Oh, we're out of range. Hold on. I gotta close with him. There we go. There we go. Now we got some buck going out. At this point, we're going to want to put ourselves in chase mode, and we're just going to want to maintain velocity and stay behind him. We don't want to use the autopilot for this because the autopilot just has this really, really dreadful habit of making you lose ground. Go ahead and push in. Thrusters are going to need another minute or two before they're recharged. Unfortunately, you can see that down on the bottom, and the bottom left above the radar, basically. Go ahead and give me another shot right there. Are we still closing? I got to wait for my engines to come back up. I also need to head them off a little bit, I think. Oh, wow, they came in close to fight with 42. So that guy's probably not long for this world. He's probably got problems. They are still definitely putting a lot of ground in between us and them, though, which is not a fact that makes me happy. We have their artillery magazine is down. Nice, we hit their battery, their artillery. Their targeting system is down, and they have another fire in their central section, and they are currently critically damaged. That's what I like to see. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to set a vector. Go ahead and set a rendezvous with 444, actually. There we go. Give me a rendezvous with 444. I'd like to be a little bit closer. The other guy's got a fire, and he's got critical hull damage, so I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. He's pretty much combat ineffective, so we should focus on the people that still have guns, putting out some buck-buck. We are closing with 444. They're not changing their vector, but we'll want to keep an eye on that range. But we got about 30 seconds, though, before we're going to be able to fire. Intercept course looks pretty good right now. We're almost inside of firing range. I'm going to let it get a little closer, though. I'm going to get a little close for comfort here. We're going to kind of shave the hairs off their chin. I'm not going to crazy Ivan or anything else like that, but I'm going to let us get inside of 6 kilometers before I open on them. Because like I said, like for whatever reason, the attack pass command does not maintain distance very effectively. It sort of lets them run circles around you. And so this is one of those games where you're definitely going to have to do manual controls, and you are definitely going to have to use automated controls simultaneously. Like you're going to have to kind of make it happen, basically. We are at 7, waiting to be at 6. Set attack course. Opening fire. Okay, first volley was incredibly successful. Artillery magazine down, forward battery down, bow thrusters disabled. That's what I like right there. That's what's up. He shouldn't be moving too much from here on in. With his bow thruster out, he's got a problem. So, he should just be easy pickings at this point. That first volley was actually critically terrible for him. Like, he took a real rough scuffing right there. He is gaining distance on us right now, though. Like I said, the attack command can be a little bit weird. Luckily, we still have a lot of thrust left on our meter on the left over there, where it says, like, engine A, X, B, Y, so on and so forth. Ah! Oh, wow, he just did hard burn. Oh, wow. Yeah, he just ran us. Okay. Let's go ahead and set rendezvous with BC-42, I think. BC-42, set rendezvous. Let's go ahead and close down firing solution. Because what's going to happen is no matter what we do here, they're going to fall back to go attack BC-42. That's their objective. And so, as long as we're somewhat near BC-42, we should be fine. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of thrust right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable the autopilot. I think that's really what it comes down to, is I think the autopilot mismanages your thrust a lot. Like, it tends to enjoy, like, really, really hard burns effectively. They're at 20. He's at 27. We can jump to him. Full stop. Don't initiate a warp jump in this game while you have any type of directional vector. Once again, ask me how I learned that lesson. You want your ship to be at full stop. Not like kind of stopped, like full stopped. Like you have no movement happening whatsoever. And then once you've got that done, we'll go ahead and we'll jump to BC-42 to back him up. Please, for the love of God, don't crash me into anything! Yeah, that's more or less my experience with warp jumps in this game. They really, really, really need to change it so that when you warp jump to a target, you don't warp jump like inside of them. It needs to put you like 5 kilometers away, because you see how much damage we just took from that right there? We were at total stop before we warped, and it warped us so close to him that just in the phase of like his normal movements, he drifted into us while fighting with these guys over here. And so that's where you kind of run into problems. We'll go full stop over here. We're kind of inside of range, but all of our thrusters are down right now. Let's go ahead and we'll deploy all of our DCP teams, but it's going to be a while before we're combat effective again. Okay, so damage control got the vast majority of stuff that was bad out of the way. We're in a little bit better shape now. We need to, let's go after 143. Engines are almost recharged down here. I'm kind of just waiting for them to be full because we're going to have to intercept over here. Alright, we're going to set a rendezvous course. Hopefully the engine's on. I mean, engine B is out, so that's really going to hurt our velocity, but hopefully we can pull it off. He may adjust his velocity once he sees what I'm trying to do here, too. Okay, very nice. Put it back on manual control before he decides to back it on in. And now we're just going to close our gap over here. Let's go ahead and get targeting solution open. We're just going to wait for him to drift into our line of fire. Our guns are gimbaled, so we do have like a little bit of play here that we can mess around with. We've got about... I changed his trajectory again. Stop doing that. Please stop changing your directory, my bro. You're making it very, very difficult for me to shoot you with guns, my man. You are making it quite difficult to give you the boom, boom, bang, bangs. You're making me fly manually, bro. I didn't sign up for the Space Colonial Navy to have to do work, alright? I just wanted to wear a schnazzy uniform. He's got his target system down. We lit another fire in the central section. You love to see it. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Is he ramming me right now, bro? I don't think he's ramming me. It looked like he was going to ram me for a second. Like, it looked like he was getting kind of close, man. We'll try to keep fire on him as he goes past. Very nice. Oh, he's down. Very good. Very, very, very good. Okay. So with you... Love those explosion effects. They look good. But yeah, this is Capital Command. We're getting kind of long in the tooth right now, but I am very, very, very stoked about this project. I think it's going to be pretty rad. We'll give it a little bit of juice right there. Chasing this guy down now. He's not critically damaged like his buddy was. Actually, don't do what you're doing right now. Let's wait for the engine juices to flow and get filled back on in. But yeah, I think with some adjustments, this game's going to be really, really rad. I think the game is cool as is. I do think that the piloting is a little bit granular for what most people are looking for that are just trying to get into like a big brawler game. And so I do think like a follow the mouse alternate version would probably not be the most terrible of ideas that can be activated with a hotkey and deactivated to take over manual control and stuff like that. but, like, I don't think it's going to be necessary. I just think it would open the game up to a larger audience. Like, it took me about an hour to an hour and a half to get used to the quirks of the autopilot and get used to, like, how to intercept people and get used to, like, using tools that aren't supposed to be used for certain things in order to get them to do certain things. It took a little bit of practice, but, like, I promise if you mess around with it, you'll figure it out. That guy's gone. We ain't never going to see him again. Let's go ahead and head back on over to BC-42. But, yeah, this is Capital Command. I hope you guys dug it. I think the game is really, really cool. I think it's a highly enjoyable little title. And I'm looking forward to playing the final version. So, check it out on Steam. You can wishlist it there. The link's down below. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we had a little bit of Capital Command. Tomorrow we will more than likely have something else. Thank you for hanging out with me and for hearing my thoughts, and I will catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody.